Bam, 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 down. To die. Out on the desert plain, it hardly ever rains. You can hear coyotes howl. Leave the drivers there, they'll shit you out again. There's a million ways to die. Yes, in case you haven't realized by now, we are going to go over Seth MacFarlane's A Million Ways to Die in the West. Yes, the Seth MacFarlane is back, unfortunately, or not unfortunately, depending on how you feel about the guy. I mean, there's definitely some awkwardness with him. But yes, he is back, and he has brought every single bullet in his arsenal, if it were, and he has brought every cylinder, every man-powered motherfucker in the world to be in this movie. Well, that's not true, but he did bring a lot of weapons in this film, and you got to commend the guy for having so many great contacts and so many great, decent, really good relationships with these types of people to do these types of movies. I mean, wow. The three on the goddamn poster alone. I mean, Liam Neeson. How the fuck do you know Liam Neeson? That's what I'd like to know. You know how many times he's made fun of him on Family Guy or American Dad or any one of his shows? It's a lot. And yet, the man still comes to his aid and becomes the bad guy for this Western. But yeah, it is a Western, if in case you didn't figure it out by the hats or the clothes and, the title. Yes, it's A Million Days a Day in the West. Seth MacFarlane is back. And it was actually very interesting to see because after his directorial movie debut from Ted, it was actually interesting to see studios actually fight for a chance to work with him and to use him for a movie. And if you don't know Seth MacFarlane, you should. Like I said before, he's done Family Guy, American Dad. He's done a lot of other cartoons. Yeah, he voices almost every character in his shows. And he delivers with those shows, and he delivered with Ted a lot. Like it made a ton of money and for himself, and this was actually a low blow. It didn't make as much as Ted did, but it was just as good. It was very even. It was laughable. It was funny. It had a good jokes. But then again, if you know Seth MacFarlane, it's gonna be the same old tired ass jokes. The '80s references, the '90s references, over and over and over and over. It's like Ted. It was basically a big giant ass '90s film, and to be honest, it's basically his way of doing stand up. Instead of being himself and going out onto a stage, doing stand-up. He does films and TV shows where he just thinks of something funny. It's like, hey, that's hilarious, and then basically just goes on a fucking rant on it in his films, which is again basically what he does. But he also brings a shit ton of people in this movie. As you can see, you have the at least the two main characters. You have Seth MacFarlane who plays the main character, and you also have Charlize Theron who plays the co-lead here. Which is actually very interesting to see that apparently they have a good chemistry, decent chemistry together. They feed lines to each other. It was quite the show. You also have Amanda Seyfried, which was interesting. Liam Neeson, as you can see again, he played the bad guy in this role, in case you didn't know by the color of his hat or his clothes. You also have Sarah Silverman, who comes in and out of this movie. Alex Borstein, who has a cameo. Giovanni Ribisi. If you don't know who I'm talking about, you definitely know who he is. Just check him out. He's actually quite hilarious. You even have Neil Patrick Harris. Yes, you heard me correctly. Neil fucking Patrick Harris. Doogie Howser. Yes, Barney Stinson. The man to make this cameo into this movie was awesome. I love him. I love NPH and anything that he does, especially Dr. Horrible. And if you don't know what I'm talking about by Dr. Horrible, you need to check that ASAP. I mean, turn this video off right now and come back to it, and I will wait. Because you need to watch it. It's great. It has Nathan Fillion, Neil Patrick Harris, Felicia Day, and it's just awesome. And back to this now. A Million Days Away, it was actually fun to watch. You know, Seth MacFarlane produced, wrote, and directed this movie just like he did Ted. Um, I wouldn't be shocked if he catered the goddamn thing. It was actually very interesting to see. It was very funny. I don't know if I don't think I ended up laughing throughout the whole entire film, but I definitely ended up laughing a lot at the film. It was I enjoyed the humor aspect. It was actually very funny. They didn't show now. The only thing that they didn't show was actually there wasn't a million ways to die in the West. They only showed only a few. You know, for like a what was it like an hour and 40, maybe 2 hour movie. They showed maybe 10 to I don't know 20 maybe 30. Who knows? But they didn't show a million. And I know it's like, hey, why are you saying that? Who gives a shit? It's just a movie. The thing is with this movie, it actually sort of okay, didn't really have a plot, but it had a story, you know, and you know the story didn't really carry on throughout the movie. It was kind of bland. It was kind of stupid. Uh, you know, girl breaks up with boy, blah blah blah. Finds Neil Patrick Harris cute with his mustache. It's really awkward. Blah blah blah. They see each other. Guy finds a friend in a girl. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Guy ends up with a new girl. Guy hates the other girl, and that's pretty much it. There's a really great cameo at the end of the movie, at the end credits. I expect you to watch that because it's actually hilarious, especially with the movie he just did. And I'm not talking about Amazing Spider-Man. There was actually one before that he did, and it was quite a shock to all of us in the theater. Why we stayed just because it's Seth MacFarlane. We kind of assumed that there was something, and there was, and it was very enjoyable to watch. It was very funny to watch. I did enjoy seeing everybody who was in this because I like those types of people. I like those comedians, especially Sarah Silverman and Seth MacFarlane, and who doesn't fucking love Liam Neeson? Uh, so I guess you could say I definitely recommend it. I'm personally going to buy it on DVD when it comes out. I don't know about you guys. I could care less um, what you guys do with it. But if it's still in theaters near you, I would say check it out. It's actually very funny. Make sure you guys stay after the credits, like I said before. Make sure you guys stay after the next time, because we're going to go to the Edge of Tomorrow with Mr. Tom Cruise. Yes. So that should be very interesting, so stay tuned for that.